was a child, my parents told me to never go past the stone line. They say the boundary lands are scarred and dangerous.
But I've been to the capital. The lands are scarred and dangerous there, too.
The people of the kingdom are scared. They're ready for change. They want to be able to dream again.
And now, for the first time in 1,000 years, an expedition is ready to leave Zobari!
We call it the Feld.
It's the size of a city, and believe it or not, it can move.
They're taking the city past the stone line?
Out in the wilderness, to find a new place to live.
Sights no mortal has seen before.
Lands untouched by any hand.
We're making our dreams reality.
And forging a new path forward.
Together! Together.
All to find a place where we belong.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Diceburgh. Welcome. And of course, we are joined again this week by our very special guest, D&D Heart. Wherever they are. Yay. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited. If you have missed any episodes of Diceburgh, you can catch up on all of those on our lovely post-channel 5% Chances YouTube channel, as well as give 5% Chance a follow on Twitter if you haven't yet, because you can stay up to date on whenever the other shows are going on. Before we get started here, wanted to give a special shout out to our sponsor, C4 Labs, purveyor of the best-smelling dice trays and D&D
Smells so good
products around. They smell so great, and they're great products. Also, they have a new product out, the dice drawers here. They hold a crap ton of dice. I actually had to go out and buy more dice so that I had enough to fill it up for the video I made for them. Yeah, you can check those out. You can use code BURG15, Diceburgh 15, and save 15% if you want to grab one of these dice drawers. Also,
it's like a dice hotel.
Shout out to them for just sending us also some cut scraps of the laser cut wood.
They sent to Arizona and I some dice. I've heard there's a rumor going around. I think if we ask really nicely, C4 might just put up dice scrap potpourri on their site for us to buy.
I love that.
Seriously, here's the idea. That. Literally, get a cheap mug, put some of it in there. Great holiday gift.
Great.
Also,
it's amazing.
I'll make crafts out of them. So they can be fun little pieces of wood.
Yeah, I don't know what kind you. I got a bunch of little dice inserts.
I got these weird ones that are clearly the edge piece, but they have a hole in them in a certain way that makes me think oh man, I could probably, if I was crafty, make a jaw.
That's
me.
I
thought the idea of making a little skull, but I'm not that crafty, and that's literally never gonna happen. But the idea is in my head. It does make a nice mug.
Yes. So maybe if we're lucky, they will just add those to their site sometime here. But. To recap our last episode, to jump back in to our show here, in case you have missed it, the GSD-PR left the camp behind to trek deeper into the heart of the storm. Following the trail that they had on a map left through a dense pine forest where they were attacked by a pack of wolves and saved by a mysterious stranger that they met along the way that claimed to be the leader of a nearby town. They followed Wynx, who is D&D Heart here, back to the town of Oswegate, where they discovered that there was a winter festival going on. There was a chili cook-off, there were sled rides going on, there was an archery competition, and after participating, many fun things in the festival. After participating in many of the events, there was a horn that was sounded to denote the beginning of the so-called Ceremony of Frost that you had heard about. Following the townsfolk up to the large temple at the back of town, you found yourselves quickly locked inside as your once friendly host rose into the air above you and revealed her true intentions. And that is where we are going to jump in to tonight's session.
I trust no one.
To set the scene a little bit, this temple you're in is a large oval temple. It's built more like a coliseum. There's 4 large pillars that are on inside like the pit area with you all that are all covered in different carvings. The stone walls rise up about 15 feet where there's a series of benches that are seated upwards, kind of like an amphitheater, where you can see there's many of the townsfolk that have seated in. They've all begun chanting together in unison, almost like a prayer. And you can see they've taken out masks and they're putting them on, and they're these dragon, these white dragon, other various different colored dragon masks.
This is a crafty town. I'm just saying. Very crafty.
You can see 4 beacons light up at each of the 4 corners of the temple, where you can see there's sort of a platform that is built where there's a large looped horn that you presume was what you had heard earlier. You can see someone goes and starts to blow at the horn again, and it's joined this time by the 3 other horns that are on the other corners that are tuned to make this dissonant harmony, and it vibrates you down to your bones. You're almost worried that it's going to cause an avalanche up in the mountains by how much it's just echoing and shaking everything. And then everything goes silent. And there's a moment you can just hear the horns echoing off through the distance in the mountains. And then the storm ends abruptly. The wind dies down, the snow stops blowing, and you can see the townsfolk have stopped their chanting, and a little bit of a murmur is going through them now as they all turn their attention towards their leader, Wynx.
I'm assuming that's my cue.
That's your cue, go for it.
That's my cue. Oh, man. Okay. I don't know. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I thought I should have prepped something for this, shouldn't I?
I'm just holding my chili pot, and I'm like, this is...
I don't know what I've done.
So...
Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. Control Z.
Just
you moved it into the DM later. Do you still see the map?
Yes.
We don't. Okay,
there we go.
Got it.
Oh my god, the frost took over.
There was an avalanche.
So it's the avalanche.
Alright, so as Wynx is flying like 30 feet above you guys, she's just like, very sorry about this, friends. But, we do have things we must do. Don't you agree?
I have a few things that we must do. It seems as though our things may not align. We apologize.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate, because I'm not giving you much of a choice.
How very Canadian this conversation is going.
Did we roll initiative, or can I just...
Oh, I'm waiting.
Did we do that?
Hey,
we're ready.
I'm actually I'm drawing my bow, and I'm gonna pull back an arrow, and I'm gonna look at you, and I'm going to ask: are we the first people that you've done this to, or have there been others before us?
Oh, dragons live for a very long time, and they do eat quite a bit. And I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to be casting a fireball.
Yeah, this is when I'm going to fire. This is when I'm going to fire the arrow.
Okay, then yes, we will be starting initiative here. So go ahead, everyone, roll initiative.
And imagine if we waited one more level.
One
more level, this fireball wouldn't be an issue.
For you,
with my camera, but I love.
Yeah, for me.
Oh, that's depressing.
Oh no, I rolled initiative first.
Oh, initiative first.
Initiative, and I rolled.
And
I rolled a 1.
Hey, first fireball of the campaign, though. Congrats.
Woo! So.
Oh, perfect. The deck save was a 27.
I'm ready.
Do you have enough gold for Jim's magic missile?
Oh, I have 15 platinum.
It's gonna be Jim's magic Gatlin.
Also, while we're getting ready, hey mom, if you're in the chat, hi mom. Just want to just say that I acknowledged you if you're there. I imagine you don't have a Twitch account, but like you're there, probably, maybe, if you love me.
She's in the middle of
I was gonna wait
confirming
for
her
the
email.
break to do this, but while we're acknowledging moms, hi mom as well. It's my mom's birthday, so happy birthday, mom!
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Mom!
Happy birthday, Calm Before the Storm. Also, my TikTok friend.
Oh, I thought
TikTok friend.
I didn't know it was their
Love
birthday.
Calm Before.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Calm Before.
out of the 365, they gotta share the one. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to die. So.
Also, happy birthday to me.
Is it actually? No, it was your birthday.
Small
Not at all.
note. Small note. Because all of you are within 10 feet from me, you have a +3 on all of your saves.
Thank.
Oh, sick.
Christ.
There's a 32 pass then.
Wait, initiative or deck save first? What were we
Dex save.
rolling?
We're doing deck. Oh no, we're doing initiative first, and then we will do
Okay.
the deck save.
Okay, cool.
So for initiative, did anyone get above a 20? Big G.
21.
21.
I'm right behind him with a non-natural 20.
Oh, Bayor, get ready. You're
I'm
about
throwing
to become
that-
immortal.
I'm just gonna waste an action by chucking this chili pot at someone.
Okay, anyone
you
get
dare.
above 15?
16.
Celestina.
Excuse me.
10 and up. Rylin.
14.
If I Misty Step and shove that chili pot onto her head, does that count as a
You can
as a
try it.
disadvantage on?
Wynx, what did you roll?
A 4.
4.
Yeah. Isn't this playing out just the villain rolling the worst?
I'm loving this.
Apologies for the chair. I have not gotten WD-40 yet, as much as I wish I did. We're just gonna.
Okay.
The old mansion house. That would be great ambiance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as the red beam streaks from Wynx's finger and detonates towards your group, I do need you all then to roll dexterity saving throws as well.
+3 to that.
Rolling hot tonight.
With a natural one.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, 30 something I had. I don't remember the full number because we had a +3.
Mm-hmm.
And the spell save was 18.
18. What? Oh, jeez.
Sorry, I meant to say that.
Okay, so that was Big G, Celestina, Bayor. What'd you roll?
I got
30.
an 11.
11, Rylin.
A 1.
1. Okay, so go ahead, roll damage, Wynx.
Okay, I'm at it right now because I'm about to mess. I do my phone. That's gonna be 36 in total.
36. Okay, so that's 36 to Bayor and Rylin. Half of that would be 18 to Celestina and Big G.
18, jeez.
As the fireball detonates around you, sending flames streaking through the air, melting most of the snow that's gathered up on this small patch that's near you. You can see the first two to act in initiative are two of the allies, Millie, who you remember from the chili cook-off at the tavern, and Orgroff, who ran the archery contest. You can see both of them. Millie has taken out a short bow, and Orgroff seems to be holding a spear that he's ready to throw, and are holding off for now, but seem to be giving orders to the archers around them, who have all taken out crossbows and have aimed them directly at your position. Again, just waiting for the word to fire on them. Then takes us to Big G.
Okay. I'm going to, as the fireball fades and flames swirl around me, you see the fireball has lit my large cigar as I pull it away. Celestina, Beor, I'll leave the ground troops to you, and I'm gonna cast Heroism at 2nd level.
Oh.
Ooh.
What does that do again?
You now have 3 temporary hit points, and you are immune to being frightened.
Unstoppable.
Everybody or just Celestina?
Celestina and Beor.
How long does that last?
It is concentration up to a minute, so I will keep track of if I take more damage.
Question, do we get the hit points at the beginning of each turn, or is it just a static 3 and then it's gone? I don't remember for heroism. One of them refreshes, I think.
Let me check. Bink. Immune to being temporary hit points at the start of each of its turns.
Okay.
Ah, sick.
Excellent.
Also, I'm going to move, just like right behind this pillar over here. And then I'm gonna look at Rylin and go, Rylin, I believe in you. I'll follow you to the end of the world, Captain. And you get a Bardic Inspiration.
Bardic Inspiration.
D6.
D6, yeah.
Thank you.
Fly like a D6.
And that will be my turn.
Okay. That takes us to Beor.
All right. Well, we just took a heck of a lot of damage. How are you looking, Rylin? Just in a quick assessment if I look over at you.
She is tarnished.
I'm going to do Prayer of Healing, which would hit me, Celestina, and Rylin. And it's a 2d8 plus my modifier. So 2d8 plus 3.
Oh, man.
To all y'all. There's a 5. There's an 8. So 13, 14, 15, 16. You just healed for 16 points of damage.
I'm basically at full. Perfect.
Nice. And then my bonus action. Where was it? I'm good. I didn't have it
Are you
prepped.
moving anywhere?
I think I'm going to do my non-spell Misty Step. If you're floating 30 feet above me, 5, 10, 15. I don't know what the diagonal is on that. If I can reach up to Wynx with my Misty Step, then I'm going to poof next to her.
How dare you?
I'm not flying, so I'm poofing, and she's either falling with me or I'm floating with her.
Okay, so if that's what you want to do, I'll allow it. So I need you to make a grapple check, an athletics check.
Nice.
Let me look up what the boots. What are are they the boots of flying?
Winged boots.
Winged boots.
I can just pop it into the Roll20. I have it in here if you need me to.
Oh, I think I got it.
Okay. I did it anyways.
Boots allow you to fly for up to. It just gives you a flying speed. Okay, cool. Oh yeah. Then yeah, go ahead and make a acrobatics or athletics check, whichever you prefer.
All right. I got a 17 plus 3.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry.
You're good.
Golden.
Ooh, that's not too bad. We're gonna do acrobatics. So that's gonna be a 18 plus 3, so math, 21, I think.
21 is going to beat Beor just slightly. So Beor, as you poof up and throw your hands to try to get a hold of Wynx, you see that she propels herself just slightly backwards, and you grasp nothing but air. You take 8 points of damage as you land back on the ground, just flat out on your back in the sandy floor.
Okay.
I promise I'm not trying to TPK.
Listen, we're going to work really hard to do it, though.
I do like that I'm associated with TPK, because I'm going to burst out of this fireball, and I'm going to first launch a shot up at Wynx. Does an 18 hit?
Yes.
Cool.
That it does.
I'm actually gonna go ahead and use my monk smite thing. So I'm gonna use a key point. I'm gonna add an extra d6 of damage. Cool. That is gonna be 8 piercing damage on the first shot. I'm gonna take another shot. Does an 11 hit?
No, 11 doesn't hit.
Cool. All right. Because I used the key point as a bonus action, I get to make an attack with a Kensei weapon. I'm going to make a third bow shot. Does a 24 hit?
No.
Never mind, then. We won't worry about it.
Yes.
Cool. I rolled a 1 and a 2 on my d8, so that's going to be another 7 piercing damage, so 15 total. And I'm probably going to move, because I can go about 40 feet. Where are the ones that have the crossbows?
They're anyone
up
marked
here?
A. Are
Anyone
the
marked
archers.
Okay, then I'm going to move just out of the open, and I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to put myself back to this pillar, so that way at least these 2 archers can't get me.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep my bow trained on her.
Excellent.
That's my turn.
That's Rylin.
Great. Okay. Perfect. Fantastic. Bayor is now below Wynx.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to use my movement to get as close to him as possible, which is 30 feet. So, easy peasy. Great. So I'm gonna move to the other side. Actually, I'm gonna kind of move around and be close enough to Bayer where he can help me if I need to make a savings throw. But under Wynx. And I am going to, and that was my bonus action. No, that was my movement. So I was going to Misty Step, and then I decided not to. Bonus action, cast Shillelagh on my staff. So that turns it. So you just watch as this like ripple of the now steaming water genasi, because of how hot she is from now just like ripples around her staff, that her quarterstaff that she carries, to now imbue that with some druid power.
Mm-hmm.
And as her action, she is just going to straight up cast Ice Knife at the back of Wynx.
Okay.
So I think that is action, bonus action, movement. Great. Perfect. So that is a ranged attack.
Are you within 30 feet of me, by chance?
How far up are you?
I'm 30 feet up.
30 feet above.
Yeah.
I guess technically on a diagonal, I'd be just out of 30 feet because hypotenuse things, but I'm not under you. Like, I mean, the hypotenuse is. Sorry. My bad.
You're good.
13 plus 8 is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Cool. And that was, I didn't say it before, so I won't do that. So the first level, 1d10 of ice damage. Oh wait, is it ice damage or is it piercing? Oh wait.
Piercing for the first, I think cold for the second.
And then you must make a dexterity saving throw.
18.
18, which I think that meets my DC. Yeah, that meets my DC. But you still take 9 points of damage.
Okay. Gosh, why is everybody targeting me? What did I do to you guys?
I still have my chili pot. I could put that over your head.
How much damage did you say it was again?
9 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you still up after these mortal wounds?
Geek the mage.
At this point in time, you see the tiefling who is standing on this platform throw his hands up, and he goes, "Enough of this!" And Big G, Bayor, and Rylin, I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm pretty good at those. Yeah.
Oof, man,
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
so good.
Dude, I watched your face as
What was
soon
that,
as
Rylin?
I said that.
I was asking Bayor, do we have that +3? Is it all saving throws?
If you are standing next to me or within 10 feet, it's +3 to all saving throws, and I got
Oh,
a 21. 13 plus 8.
Okay.
Natural 15 plus 8 plus 3, so I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Math.
Big G. Okay, so just Big G.
26. Yeah.
Big G, as Gordon lifts his hands, you can see there's this ripple in the air. Rylin and Bayor, you feel this wave hit you, but you're able to shake it off. Big G, unfortunately, you are not able to, as you seem like the world around you just speeds up a little bit. You are now slowed. You take a -2 penalty to your AC and dex saving throws, and you can't use your reactions. You can use either an action or a bonus action, not both.
That's fine.
And you can't take more than one attack, regardless of how many you'd normally be able to.
That's fine. Easy enough.
If you cast a spell, you have to roll a d20, and if you roll an 11 or higher, it does not take an effect until your next turn, because you're slowed.
So it has to be below an 11?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you repeat the wisdom saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
You know, I'm very good at rolling low, so I don't think it's
So
gonna
maybe.
matter. I'm gonna break out my bad dice for this. Who is this? This is the person in the top right, near me?
This was, Gordon in the top
Gordon.
top
Good
right,
to
the
know.
teeth.
The
one.
other
Yeah.
Big G.
Mm-hmm.
I look up at him and I go, "You're fucking sick."
But like, did Big G get drunk?
At this point in time, it is Wynx's turn.
Wow, so cool. Okay, I am going to aim. Let's do over this way.
Why?
Who's C? Why not? You hurt
Celestina
me.
paint?
You cause
Yeah.
pain. And I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt,
Pew. Pew pew.
which is going to be a 25 to hit.
That hits this time.
Okay.
This time.
And let me just grab my D4s over here.
Just you
Okay.
wait.
Next time then.
I'm so bad at math. You think for playing D&D I'd be better at math?
No.
I just gave up. So.
That is going to be 17 damage. And you are now
is
glowing and get whoever attacks you next gets advantage.
All right.
Sorry about
Celestina,
it.
I have never seen you glow so much. You are glowing. Positively glowing. I don't know what lotion you're using.
And then I'm going to fly another 30 feet up.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Wynx,
Pantene.
as you fly up, you do notice Millie reaches into her coat and holds out a vial and is sort of waving it up to you.
Okay. Like asking me to come grab something?
Or asking you to get ready to catch it when she
Okay.
throws it to you.
Okay. I will do that. I will. Maybe I'll. Can I play on a diagonal?
Sure, yeah, you can get closer.
To get closer to her? Okay. So I'm going to go. She's up here, right?
Yeah,
That's
she's
her?
this
Okay, that's what I
over
thought.
here.
Okay. I'm going to go this way then.
Cool.
Try my best.
You see, as this guiding bolt hits you, Celestina, there's a cheer from the crowds all around you as they erupt. You can see the archers still seem to be holding their shots for whatever reason. As it circles back around to Millie's turn, as she goes, Wynx, hit, catch! and she tosses. Make a dexterity check here.
Oh, that's a rough one. That's a natural one.
For a total of
interception.
4.
Okay. You see, she tosses, and you can see it lands in your hands for a second. It was a healing potion, but it slips through your hands and lands in the sand that the rest of you do notice here. Well, besides Big G and your slowed state. The rest of you notice this potion thunk into the sand.
Rats, these butterfingers!
You can see Orgroff on this side, the dwarf, calls out to the archers. He goes, "Archers, ready!" And you can see they all take their shots. And just as he's about to lower his hand, there is a piercing roar that echoes through the valley. And you can see he just freezes for a second. And the archers holding their crossbows still aimed are looking around for a moment. And then, after a moment, there's a large shadow that crosses over the arena briefly. And the crowd starts to panic and shout amongst each other. It was real. There's a dragon. There was a real. It's real.
I was trying to tell you.
What'd you expect to happen?
We actively chose not to tell them.
Well, nope. I was going to tell Wynx later, but she decided to fire a fireball later. That's first. So,
all right.
Looking up into the air here, you see the large winged form circling in the air, getting slower and lower as it makes a descent towards the Colosseum, the temple here. And you can see its wings extend outwards as it lowers its four limbs, as it makes a thunderous impact down onto the temple, sort of perching on these two columns next to Wynx here. You see it is covered in ice, just almost forming like a beard from below its chin. Large sheets of ice are still shaking loose from its body and crashing onto the floor. Its wings stretch, and there's a frost that comes off of them as it appears to be stretching out its form here. As it looks around and goes, "Foolish mortals, who has woken Gefenir?"
I look immediately at Celestina and then like kind of look away so that it doesn't. I don't want to cause attention. Like the dragon can see Celestina's right next to its head. I'd be like, I'm so frozen about telling you to run for safety or attack it.
Because of the belief in my friend Big G in me, I am not frightened. I cannot be frightened. In fact, I'm feeling rather heroic.
You got the Big G in me, yeah.
And yeah, I see this big dude's right there. So we'll figure out what we're gonna do here in a moment. I guess.
Got that Big G energy right now.
I'm ready.
You see its head swings around again, this time towards you, Wynx, and goes, "Don't make me repeat myself. Who has summoned the Frozen One?"
It's simply time for you to be fed. If you notice, we have several people here ready for you to feast upon. Can I just point?
Sure.
I'm just gonna. Well, there's one right there, two right there, and then there's one way back over there behind the pillar.
Well, I would like to state, as like steam just continues. Really, the frozen one. Anyone is up for your meal? What really do any of us mortals have, other than to feed you?
It's a big
So it's
plate.
not just us.
Wow, you're just throwing the whole town under the bus.
I feel like it's a bigger meal, but also you may want to speak with those that she pointed at. We might have some information.
Yes. Well,
After
remember,
your meals,
we
maybe.
provide you with the food repeatedly every time. So,
You provide me with morsels, scraps.
we can get you more food. I hear they told me about this camp that they have that have quite a bit of people at
I
it. to my
shoot her.
knowledge.
I shoot her. Well, I shoot Wynx. She's threatening the city. Arrows are gonna fly into her chest, and I'm gonna.
Deaf and blindness right now.
Are we in initiative still?
What?
Are we still in initiative? I'm
There's
ready.
been a lot of- There's been a lot of chatting.
Yeah.
We're sort of at like a paused initiative here.
The
I
dragon
will
did just
literally
show
look
up.
at the dragon and go, I can kill most of the people in these stands right now if you want to eat.
Why would you take away his kill from him?
I mean, that's a very pleasant question to ask. But Frozen One, can I ask a question? You said you were summoned?
The beacons were lit for me, and I grow
Wynx.
hungry.
Did you light beacons? So you lit the beacons, right?
Yes, we light the beacons to tell him that we have found morsels for him. And look how
Oh.
delicious these little things are.
Oh, you poor thing. You know very little, do you?
Let us keep you waiting. Please, please, enjoy yourself. And afterwards, we can completely work on getting you that camp that they mentioned to me. Sounds quite decadent.
Where is your offering of gold?
I hold up a bag of 15 platinum. This is more than the entire town has, apparently.
Can I just...
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna cast message so it's just between me and the dragon. I go, this is how much I have. I tell him exactly how much in gold and
Wait.
platinum.
You hear
Big G. I look at Big G and I point to the pot. Look at how much gold is in this pot! And I wink to Big G.
Minor illusion, immediately.
you see this dragon
Chili pot full of gold.
roars out, "Silence!" and sweeps its head in an arc across the arena. I need
Something really bad.
I need all of you, please, to make dexterity saving throws. Wynx, you're gonna be just safe.
Even though I'm behind a pillar?
Yes, not from the dragon's perspective.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Dexterity saving throws? Great. Awesome.
24.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, okay. That's only slightly better.
18.
That's even better.
1.
A non-natural 20.
It's +3, right? Because I'm right next to you, Bayor.
Yep.
Great. Awesome. 15?
What characters y'all think about playing next? Really thinking about like a rogue, like maybe a ranger.
I'm going back to my cleric.
I want to be a satyr with a leather jacket. He's definitely got that James Dean going on.
I'm going back to my multi-class that saves me.
Nah,
Well, now
we
we're
got
getting
this.
like nice and chilled. Can I kind of like wave my hand to whoever to bring in gold offerings?
Sure.
Bring the gold. Bring the gold.
Oh, come on, we gotta go. He's angry today.
There's a
You got your stage manager is like, oh.
These two. We'll get there in just a moment.
Yeah, then that's fair.
No, you're fine. No. Okay. Anyone who rolled 19 or above takes 32 or 31 points of cold damage. Anyone who rolled 19 or lower takes 62 points of cold.
Wait a second. Hold on.
You guys
I'm not instantly killed. I'm not instantly killed. It would have to be 72 to instantly, 74 to instantly kill me. I'm down.
Hold on. I need to do math.
Oh, no.
How many did you say? Full damage?
62.
Full damage is 62.
God. Oh, God.
My instincts want to help, but I'm like, as for my character, this is a good thing. You guys just got frostbite over your burns.
You rang the dinner bell. Dinner was served.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm just happy that Peyor's
what a session for my mom to watch.
Salad like this.
By the way,
up the chili pot.
By the way,
I mean, I'm down, but I'm not
heroism.
instant dead. But I'm down. You were 1 point fucking off.
Yeah, I was 3 points from instant death.
Oh no.
Heroism's gone, by the way.
Oh.
I also don't think I did my. I did my math.
Is
right.
anyone still up after that?
No.
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 Let's go, baby.
Okay. So as the light fades from all of you, there's large swaths of this. Oh, I'm messing everything up here. There we were. Roughly. All three of these groups of individuals are completely frozen over.
Oh, that's rough, buddy. My town people.
Peace out.
As he looks down on the bodies that are on the arena floor and turns to you, Wynx, and goes, "Your sacrifice is unworthy." And he sort of crawls up into this area. Most of these people go scattering in different directions as he does. Sits down with a heavy thud impacting into this coliseum here as he says, "I await the offering of your gold, and I presume there will be more to eat then."
Sorry, but our deal was that you don't harm the people of my town, and I see a lot of popsicles over here right now.
The deal was that you offer me sustenance.
Oh, I did. I did.
That was not a meal.
Oh,
that was hardly.
Have you ever? It's an appetizer. You know, an appetizer to cleanse your palate, and then we were going to go get the camp for you. You just killed all my town people.
Present more food.
Present more
to
food.
the Nephiligir.
We're getting your gold and whatevers. Here, and she's gonna toss, what did she have on her? She had something on her. I don't remember. I forgot to put in gold. She's gonna toss whatever gold she had on her. It was probably not much. Right at him. So here, take this for now, and we're getting the rest of the gold. All right. Am I free to leave? To go?
I will give you some time, but do not make me wait for long.
Yes, of course. And I'm going to kind of I'm gonna go kind of fly lower, and I'm gonna start walking across the arena. And I'm gonna cast Healing Word.
Okay.
Actually, is it all right if I go check out all these people, make sure they're dead for you?
You see, he just sort of turns like
Okay,
he
cool.
doesn't want to be bothered by it.
Okay, I'm gonna go to each of them. I'm actually going to cast Healing Word on 3 of them, so probably everybody in this area. And I'm gonna cast Spare the Dying Care.
I was going to say, Millie's going to also come down and pick up this potion, and she can take it over as you're doing that to Big G. You're going to see Millie's going to come up beside you, and she's going to say, Wynx, we ain't got no gold to give him.
I know, it's, he already kind of, killed a bunch of our townspeople, which wasn't supposed to be a thing. I think these guys might actually be quite helpful for us, so let's try and get them feeling a little bit better, shall we?
We'll take him back to my place if we can. Try to see if we can come up with a plan there.
Okay, that sounds perfect. All right. I'm going to need an apology note. Oh, for Christ's sakes. All right. Yes. Okay.
And yeah, you can see there's a couple other of these archers that have come down. The rest of the townspeople seem like they are backing off very slowly and very cautiously from this dragon.
I'm gonna certainly kind of do a this thing to all the townspeople that are still there as subtly as I can to get them to start dispersing quickly as they can.
You can see many of them go back in hushed whispers. For the first time in days since the festival started, doors are closing in the town again. You can see there's several of them, the parents that go off and pick up their children from the town hall where Axildor, the dragonborn druid, was sort of watching over the kids. And then everyone goes back off to their home. The rest of you come to consciousness sometime later in the inside. It's warm again. There's faint aromas of chili that are lingering through the air as though you all are injured, and you can feel like there is this deep chill down to your bones, cold that you haven't felt ever in your lives. That this warm on the inside is starting to break through a little bit on that outside, but there's still, you can feel this chill down to the core of your beings.
Okay.
We're still rough, right? Like, were we conscious?
What's my
Yeah,
HP
you're
right
all
now?
coming back to consciousness. What was the healing that you were able to do, Wynx?
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't.
Gotcha. I said I wouldn't be able to do that, and I still did it. So Millie was getting one of them, right?
Yes.
So I decided to do
G.
3. Okay, so that would be a whole whopping D4. So, okay, so 1, gets a 2 plus my spellcasting ability modifier, which is, I think, just my wisdom, so 5. So that's 7, and that's 6, and that one is 9.
Okay. So yeah. 7, 6, 9. Big G, you actually healed 10. I rolled max damage on that potion. And then you're also able to use any hit die that you have. I'll say during this period.
I'm gonna go up to everybody and just one by one do a level 3 cure wounds on everybody.
Wait, so we each healed individually 7, 6, and 9, right? Or was it like combined total for
like individual?
No, individually. I did healing word on each.
Okay.
On 3 of you.
Yeah, so we'll say Celestina got 7, Rylin got 6, Bayor got 9, just in the order that you were on the map there.
Okay. The first question I'm going to ask is, where am I when I come to? Because if there are any townsfolk within my eyesight, I'm going full paladin, and there is gonna have to be some words.
Bayor, you heal 25.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Bayor, you do come to. You are in Millie's Tavern. It's been cleared out. All the tables and chairs have been pushed off to the side. There are bedrolls that are laid out that each of you are resting on. As you come to, you look to your side and you see Rylin to one side and Celestina to the other side. You are stripped of all of your armor. You're in just your base clothes. You shoot up and you look around and you can see one of the tables appears to have all of your belongings set out on it. And you can see the main group of individuals along with Wynx are there, just sort of having a hushed conversation. And as you come to, you can hear, "What are we going to do, Wynx? It's going to destroy the town." He's waking up.
Okay.
Can I have could I have had like 4 bowls of chili?
Absolutely.
I was like, see them wake up. I'm going to just like be like, okay. And I'm going to start carrying the bowls. Terry be like, much apologies. It seems there was a bit of a...
As soon as the chili gets to Rylin, she literally smacks it out of her hand.
All right, well, that was rude. But I did try and feed you to a dragon, so understandable.
Where is it? Where's the dragon? Where is it?
It's still back at the... It's still back at the arena. It's waiting for us to prepare you and get gold and more food.
Before you continue to explain things to us, Wynx, I would very much like to understand how, in your mind, you thought. You say that you have met dragons before?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Just this one, correct? Is this the first time you have encountered a dragon in your town?
Well, in my town, yes. We happened to make a bit of a deal with it, so it didn't destroy my town.
Wait.
So we did that. It's gone a bit south.
You think so? You think it's now gone a little bit south?
Just a little, yes. Just a tiny bit.
So, just in case anyone's wondering, the steam is still rising. You see as Rylin is getting heated and more heated, where was once just flame from the fireball, now it's just Rylin getting mad. Where the water that was once on her is now steam.
If it will allow that, I have that ensnaring strike spell. I don't want to use it, but like it causes roots to come up from the ground, and I definitely want there to be that ominous. There's an angry nature below that is creaking this in, because Bayor is just about to rage right now. He doesn't slap away the chili. He just looks at it and shakes his head. But says, the last time that I was in this hearth, I was offered this peaceably. I took it out of friendship and trust. You do not get that from me any longer.
All right. She'll just set it down on the floor in front of you.
Our intention when we walked into your town... Sorry, continue.
Oh, no, you're okay. If you want to go ahead.
Our intention when we walked into your town was to help rid you of the problem that you have created. Was to help give you guidance into a better way to maybe live peacefully in this area so that you wouldn't kill half of your town. Or us.
So, She's going to kind of sit down and sigh. I am mightily aware that what I did was foolish. But everything I did was to protect my town. And
Well, then-
sure, it ended with some other people not having such of a good outcome.
How
but
many? How many?
An amount.
How many?
I don't keep a tally, unfortunately.
You don't know your town folk that you have lost
My-
already?
My town
No.
folk are not the ones that we...
The ones that were sacrificed. How many?
I genuinely don't keep a tally. I'm sorry. I did what I had to do to protect my town. They were my main concern. They are what I was protecting. And it seems that that is not part of the deal anymore. As he just killed a lot of my townspeople.
Let it be a lesson then. Life is not a trade good. I am not a gold coin for you to barter and tally off and forget. I am life. She is a life. He is a life that you traded for your safety,
Oh, not
for your
my safety.
comfort, for your
For-
chili,
For my townspeople.
for your people.
For my people, yes. And
My life is not as valuable as yours. That is the conversation that we have now.
To be
you
fair,
see?
I understand.
Do you see?
I am trying to right my wrong. I did not have to heal you. I did not have to bring you back from the brink of death. I did not have
But you did.
to do that.
You did. You did.
But we
because
did.
You,
No,
you,
we're
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to squash that real quick there, Miss Wynx. You did have to bring us back because you have no idea where our city is, do you? You need our information of where our town is that you offered to your dragon.
Oh, actually, I helped you.
Out of the kindness of your heart?
No, not in the least. More so to try and see if I could get your aid to defeat the dragon.
Yeah, we walked in offering our aid. And then
To be
you
fair,
almost had us slaughtered.
To be fair, you didn't tell me a thing about the dragon.
I
did tell
get
you
up from the table. I go to
about
my
an
gear.
impending issue.
I pick up my gear and I start tossing people their gear as well. It doesn't matter. This dragon is here. There is too much at stake. We can deal with we can deal with all of this later, but for right now, we are alive. And what we can do while we are alive is protect the other people who cannot protect themselves.
Celestina, we were barely alive.
We are barely alive, but look how many people were wiped out in an instant. Look, you know how close we are to camp. Regardless, we have to deal with it here because we cannot run away. Where would we go? We'd lead it right back to our people. We have to figure out a way to deal with this. Here.
I have an offer. Wynx. We have a way to help you that keeps our mission on course. I need to discuss it with the rest of my party before I offer it to you and your sovereign.
Of course, I understand. Please, can I get any of you anything? Seems like none of you are interested in chili. But water, I can see if Millie has any more potions, perhaps?
Anything that you can get that would aid us. Because you're also going to be helping us as well.
Of
gather able
course.
bodies.
I would not have even thought about sending you out there alone after trying to sacrifice you.
It doesn't matter. Get the people who can help. Get them here now. We need a plan.
Of course. All right. And she's gonna stand up and kind of brush herself off and shuffle out of the shuffle to go find the rest of her party and any able bodies willing to fight.
Sure. Yeah. I will say while Wynx leaves the room and goes to gather her allies, the rest of you have a moment where you kind of hear them all leave and go out the door, and then you kind of peek right out the door, and there's very obviously a couple guards that have been stationed right outside, but you are alone on the interior.
I collapse into a chair in exhaustion and
As soon
like
as she's gone, Rylin starts weeping. She is.
I wreck a table setting. Literally, the table, the chairs, it is gone. It is going to be in splinters by the time he is over, and then he will calmly sit in the splinters.
Oh, my favorite table set.
Yeah, it's gone. It's probably the one that I sat at with Millie's chili in the beginning. Yeah, it's just destroyed.
How are you doing, Big G?
I'm hanging in there. It's a lot to take in all at once.
It's a lot, but I don't want to lie to you. I'm a little bit nervous about this one, but
I'm gonna be honest. I understand where she's coming from. So I'm not saying what she did was right. Obviously, you can't trade a life for life. But I understand.
I think arguing about the morality of it right now is going to get in the way of what we really need to focus on. We can persecute and anger and blame after, but a thing is too close to home, and we need to take care of it before anything else.
I did have an idea.
The floor is yours.
Well, it's dragon's looking pretty hungry. Looking for as much as it can eat. We can leave right now, take all their weapons, and leave for camp. They are going to get able bodies right now. Gonna come back here. We're gone. Grab as many things as we can. And we just leave.
Here's the thing, though.
Leave them to fight their own battle their own mess that they have made?
Yeah.
Not even from a morality standpoint. We have our best chance at fighting this giant creature with the most amount of bodies we have.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't trust any of these people, and the only people I trust are back at camp. If everybody here perishes, I'm not gonna lie, I will not lose a wink of sleep over it.
Neither will I.
You still have one of those sending stones, right?
Oh, I have both, yeah.
Message back to camp. Let them know how close the dragon is.
Oh, did we leave one? Oh, we left one with Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Yeah, you left one with Ambrose.
Let them know at least so that way they can prepare. We cannot lead this back to camp. It could
No, I thought
follow
about
us.
leading it to the capital, actually.
It's like Morse code.
I'm sending a message. Ambrose, come in. Ambrose, do you copy? This is Big G from the front.
There's a few moments that go by before you get a message back that responds. Big G. Yeah. This is Ambrose. Man, this is weird. We don't normally do things like this.
I know it's like in your head, right? It took me a while, but Celestina kind of got me like used to it. Anyway, there's a lot more important things besides magic. There's that dragon problem we're talking about. We just encountered it. Turns out this whole town is corrupted. Not great people. They try to sacrifice us. They brought us back to life and they want to fight with us. I don't necessarily trust them. I'm ranting. We are here and I look at everybody and I go, Oswegit?
Oswegat.
Yeah, Oswegit. Like at
Osway gonna get burned to the ground.
Apparently the dragon's gonna come back. We're kind of looking for some counseling right now. What we should do? Should we meet you back at camp? Do you want to come here?
It's 3 days travel.
Well, camp's on the move. we're headed your way into the storm, which stopped a little while ago. We're a couple days out. We're still slower than normal, but we're headed your way. If you say that there's this dragon in the way of the camp, then we need to know to not come there or to get the dragon out of the way.
Oh no, I would prefer that you all stay safe. Hold on. Crew, GSDPR. What are we thinking? What should we? Ambrose says
the
that
camp.
you want. Yep. I was gonna say that Ambrose said the camp's on its way. It could either be the camp stays clear of the dragon, or it can get the dragon.
The camp should stay clear of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
We will meet them with possible supplies. But
So, Ambrose, my guy. So, there's stay away. I don't want you all to get caught up in this. There's this whole fiasco. Remember the Commander Miranda thing? Oh, happened again. It's crazy. So, yeah, just stay there. We'll get some supplies to you, maybe, possibly. Over and out.
At this moment, Wynx is going to start shuffling back into the tavern with just a load of kids and some women and elderly people. Sorry to interrupt. Hope it's okay. This just happens to be the safest place in town. So we're bringing all the children and things here in the meantime to hopefully protect them.
All right, great. Can we find a private place? Because we were not finished talking and, well, you know we don't trust y'all.
That's, and I understand that I did try and sacrifice you. It's completely understandable. But I just need to get all of them settled really quick. This is probably the best place. Like I said, it's the safest place, so it's probably the best since all of you are looking rather unwell.
Big G.
Yeah?
Can I mind link to you?
Yeah.
So that way there's a connection. I'll relay anything that we talk about in private. Can you calm down these kids?
Yeah, certainly. Hey,
He
Wynx.
starts handing out little bowls of chili to all the kids, just the leftover chili.
You see
Anything
Millia's,
leftover.
Millia's also there. She's kind of guiding people into a back room. There's a hatch that she's opened up with a short ladder that kind of goes down into the basement that is the safe place that these kids are being taken to.
I go over to Wynx and just stand next to her for a moment, watching the general crowd, and murmur and say, "When this is all over, I hope to show you the real value of human life, or life in general."
It's not that I have a disregard for human life. It's just that I view my people's lives are more important. Example, if you had one of your friends here falling off a cliff and a complete stranger falling off a cliff, who are you going to save?
I save who I can.
You'd most likely go for your friend, though.
I think a situation where you are finding people in there versus a situation where you actively pushed people into it are a little bit different for this hypothetical.
They are a little bit different, but you think we would have gone another route if we could have.
No,
This was the best route that we could take, that I could take, that my party could take to protect our people. And I'm very sorry that it is morally against yours. I did what I thought was best.
All I'm saying is,
I know it is not right, but
justice will be coming. And for some, they think that it's chains and shackles. Justice is a lesson. When this is over, I hope to have done my part to prevent others from falling into this cliff of despair that you describe, and teach you that a life does not beget life. and I walk away.
At this point in time, the door opens again, and you can see the dwarf, Orgriff, is pulling a large chest in, and he finishes pushing it all the way in before shutting the door again. He looks up to you, and he goes, "Oi, I got some supplies. Might be able to help." Opens it up. And it is, he says, it's not much. Most of it's just to help out, hunting parties in the wild, but might be able to protect us against a little bit of this dragon. And you can see there are a few things that are in this chest. There is a suit of studded leather armor that glistens with a bit of a sheen to it, almost like a frosty sheen, and you pick it up and it's cold to the touch. There are a set of very finely crafted heavy leather boots with a fur inlay in them. There are 2 small matching rings that appear to have magical runes inscribed on the outside of them. There are also 3 potions, 3 vials that are frosted on the outside and condensing in the chest, as well as 2 fairly familiar looking potions of healing, and 1 that is actively warm to the touch as you pick it up.
If this is brought over to us and not over to Wynx, then I'm going to ask what all these things are. To the dwarf. What is this?
I'm sorry. Yeah, he kind of looks over at Wynx and looks back at you and goes, "Well, we were saying if you were going to help with the fight, you might as well arm everyone up and give everyone the best possible chance. This armor here came from an ally of ours from a while ago. It's studded armor, but it will help fend off against the cold. The boots there won't give you much extra protection, but they're pretty much all you'd need for cold weather. The rings, as well, will help fend off against the cold, keep you warm. It's cold up in these mountains. We need a lot of help we can get for some of our hunting parties."
What's this warm potion?
That is a potion of dragon's breath.
Does it breathe fire?
It lets you breathe fire for a while. There's also the tiefling, Gordon, who clears his throat and steps forward and goes, "Wynx, I also, we also have this." And he pulls out a small dragon's claw that is etched in runes. And you can see it is old. It is almost crumbling at the tip. When he goes, "We used most of it in the last fight, but could give us the extra boost we need if we were going to fight this thing."
Yes? What is it?
Wynx, yeah, this would be familiar to you. This is known as a Dragon's Bane curse. It is a dangerous, almost cursed item that you came across during your previous life as an adventuring party. It has 3 charges originally. 2 of them have been used, but it can be used to give a dragon vulnerability to all damage for 1 minute.
looked pretty nice. But yes, this will definitely, probably come of use. It is a shame, though. But we must do what we must.
If the town is, this thing is not going to honor its word against the town, then who's to say after we give it all the gold it wants, it doesn't just finish the rest of us off anyway?
Yes, that does seem to be the dilemma, isn't it?
You thought that giving it the gold was going to work?
Well, and no, that's why we brought you back. Oh, plus, we don't exactly have the gold to give, so no.
All right, then let's talk about how we're going to kill this thing.
So you all are agreeing that...
We didn't say that yet.
Well, that was insinuated just now, but...
We haven't really had a group vote of if we're actually going to help you or not, considering that you just...
Yes, well, all right. Well, I mean, if you choose to go off on your way, that is perfectly understandable. Although I've never, willingly let children die or anything like that. But
you actively did.
No,
you did by inviting a dragon into your village. Whatever you thought you were doing was safe, that was the end game.
I did not invite it here. You think I just went up to its mountain? It was like, oh, jolly old icy one, would you like to come down to my town?
We cannot keep having this argument in circles. We cannot just...
I have never once. This was a deal we had to make in order to prevent my town from being killed in the first place. Yes, it is wrong. Yes, it is bad. But that does not mean that everyone here deserves to die.
No.
We were trying to avoid
only
that
thing.
in the first place.
That is the only thing, Wynx, that is giving me a very small part of my being that is not getting the hell out of here. We had a chance. You do not realize how closely all of us really did come to seeing the embrace of that.
I put my hand on Rylan's shoulder to try to, and I just look at you and I say, look, we can be angry, we can fight, and I am with you. I am boiling with a red-hot rage right now. But what is it going to do? We need to be able to act now, and what that means is that we need to look at what is the most dangerous thing here. We need to take care of that. Afterwards, we can deal with the Wynx, we can deal with our grieving, and we can deal with our rage. But let's live to be able to deal with that.
And I'm going to live. And I walk away. I leave. I go outside.
Mm-hmm. I turn towards you, Wynx, and I say, what can your people do? What are we going to be working with as we go out in those fields?
Well, we have all of the magical items that were just brought forth to you. We do also have Claw that happens to give the dragon vulnerability to everything. That has one charge left, so if we do indeed use that, it will be...
I assume there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I assume you treat every fight like it's your last, and there is one dragon out there.
I am simply saying, if we decide to use it, then it has one charge, so we need to make it, worthwhile.
Right. What else?
You see Gordon behind you pulls out a scroll from his cloak and goes, I've been holding on to this for a rainy day. It'll allow one of us to change forms temporarily. Might let you get eye to eye with that dragon. You see Millie also steps forward and she goes, as well, have something I've been holding on to for a rainy day. And she pulls out a potion, and there's a clear swirling inside. She goes, it's the last one I got. Potion of invisibility. If it'll help us win in the fight, then you're more than welcome to use it. And you see Orgoth stands there, and he goes, I have naught to give you but my spear, but you shall have it in the fight. He stands there with his spear presented. We also have archers in the town that are trained. They can offer some assistance against the beast.
I look at Big G. Can you...
I'm not there.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
I can relay whatever you need to say to PG.
I was about to say I need to find Big G for that sending stone to ask our wizard back at camp what he knows about white dragons. Anything.
I'll probably, while you look for Big G, I'll probably use this time to just go check on Rylin and make sure that she's okay. Because I imagine, we're all going through a lot right now.
I go looking for Big G then.
Okay, so Bayor, you open up, the hatch is still open, and you can hear the sound of a group of kids coming from the basement underneath. You climb down, it's a fairly short ladder, and you're in a root cellar basement. There's a couple of crates and boxes that are stacked up. It's fairly warm still being underground. The kids have all gathered, and Big G, how are you entertaining the kids?
It's like a puppet show, but with illusions. The princess will save the day. He's trying anything and everything because he's beat, he's exhausted.
There's a murmur of laughter that goes through the kids as they laugh at this little puppet show that Big G is putting on. Behind the group of kids, sort of closer to the entrance, is the Dragonborn Druid, one of this group that was not present immediately during the fight. She turns as you enter down and goes, do you need to get your friend?
Not just yet. And I watched the show for a while longer.
It morphs into what looks like a river as a small mechanical boat starts floating on it with a elongated rat face on, just kind of bouncing up and down.
Whistling.
Yes. Rodney the rat.
I just, as carefully as I can, go over to him and just ask for the stone to camp.
I hand him the stone to camp.
And then I go back up.
The kids. Rodney is a big hit with the kids. They start really giggling, and for the first time, seemed like they're really biting into the story when you bring out Rodney there. As Bayor, you climb the ladder back up. While you're doing that, Celestina, you walk outside to find Rylin pacing in the snow.
How are you holding up?
Holding up how?
Look.
The fact that we walked in and started today having fun building snowmen, sliding down hills and winning archery contests, and thought we were coming here to warn people of their safety, and realizing they are the ones who invited it. They're the ones that held it here.
I kind of just fall silent for a moment. I'm just listening to you because there isn't anything that Celestina can say, but he kind of just looks at you and it's just, even if knowing that, what do we can't ignore it. Regardless, we were going to have to meet this creature here or there. That's what we were out here for.
ready.
Would we ever have been? Would we ever have known if we were until it happened?
Maybe. I mean, we can barely defend a camp from worms without someone needing minor healing.
But we did it.
Worms are not dragons.
Worms are not dragons, but we are still alive. Whether it be through magics or through anything else, we are here alive, able to discuss it. And even if we run, there's nothing we can do. But if we at least stand to fight it, the people who are trying to protect have at least a little bit more time. We can fight back.
Celestina, there's a difference between fighting because you want to save the world. We want to figure out what's going on. If we want to figure out so many different threads that we are following right now, it's not just finding safety for the Mierenfeld. It's not just finding safety for our camp. There's so much more. And this dragon is a linchpin in everything. We already found one dead and desiccated. We don't know why these dragons are back yet, do we?
I'm the wrong person to ask. To be honest, I don't know anything about dragons.
It is so much more than... We came in wanting to save this town, right? Thinking that we were helping. To have a conversation of warning. Because we knew what was coming, and we wanted to have them help us prepare for it. To walk in to find out that they already knew and we were their preparation. Makes me second guess a lot of different things. I'm new to your world, to your plane, apparently. It's the first time that I don't like it.
And at that, there is another roar that echoes through the mountains. It's followed with a I hunger. The door to the tavern quickly opens up as the dwarf pops his head back out and goes, "Oi, you two, we need to figure out how we're going to deal with this thing."
Oh, for Christ's sake, he's getting his scales on a wad, isn't he? Oh, okay.
Here, we're going to take a short little break to let us use the restroom or grab drinks or what have you. Don't go anywhere, though, because Diceburgh will be back in 10 short minutes. Stay tuned to 5% chance.
Oh my god, yeah, this is definitely where you want to stick around.
Yeah. You don't want to miss what's going to happen.
Oh my god.
Right now.
I'm ready.
Can you? Hello and welcome back to Diceburgh. I hope you all had a lovely break. We all had a lovely break, and we're ready to jump right back into the action as weapons and stashes of magical goods have been spilled out onto the table, and the groups have been called back into the central area of the tavern to discuss how they're going to deal with this dragon here. So as Orgroff calls you in, you see Bayor, you climb the stairs or the ladder to see Rylin and Celestina entering back into the main area of this tavern around the same time.
I'm holding the gem. I'm not gonna. Actually, I'm gonna hold the gem and call in for Ambrose. Ambrose, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Need to speak with the wizard, the one that has our commander in the gem currently. Can you hand him the stone?
Yeah, give me a couple minutes, I'll find him. A couple minutes goes by, and you hear, yes, hello, this is Ayla Senreth.
You don't have to speak that loud. It's very loud in my ears right now. Just calm it down a bit.
Oh, sorry, yes. Well, how can I help you, Bayor?
Right, I have a question about concerning white dragons. Have you any experience with those, or reading about them?
Yes, nasty, terrible beasts. Quite cunning hunters, actually. They get a bad rap for being the least intelligent, quote unquote. But in actuality, they're quite cunning hunters when it comes to ambushing or stalking their prey. Typically, they reside in mountains or colder regions, glaciers of the like.
Right. What are they afraid of?
Sorry. What is a dragon afraid of?
What is a white dragon afraid of? If you had to surmise, what would they be afraid of?
A common misconception is that the white dragons are afraid of flames or fire. While it will deal, won't. While the creatures don't have necessarily an aversion to them, it will deal regular, normal damage that you would expect an attack of that to do.
So if a white dragon were to meet a red dragon, would the white dragon kowtow to the red dragon?
It depends on the various sizes and ages of the dragons. Red dragons do tend to wear the color as a bit of a status symbol. They tend to be very large and powerful creatures, but an old enough white dragon would stand a chance against one.
Right. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Oh, yes, of course. In fact, I have very many interesting tidbits about white dragons. If you're interested in learning about their hunting patterns, and you kind of hear it, fade off.
Wait.
Right.
You summoned this dragon, correct? Do you have familiarity with it?
Well, in a way.
Do you know anything specific about it, is what I mean.
DM, do I know anything specific about the dragon?
So this is the dragon that you all came across to the southwest of here in a vast, glacial area. As
he defeated us. Do we know his age or much about him?
There are older dragons out there that exist, but Gefrenir, sorry, I'm stumbling over my own name. Gefrenir is a very powerful dragon still. You do know that he considers himself very smart. Whereas there's a lot of white dragons who really enjoy hunting. He enjoys more of the entrapment of his prey.
Okay. Well, my party fought him a while back. He defeated us. He's rather old. He does enjoy the hunt of ambushing, trapping his prey. Maybe we took that away from him a little bit by the arena thing. I don't know. But, to be quite frank, I don't know a whole lot about him. He's semi-intelligent. I mean, he talks. So, there's that. Not all dragons talk.
Is anyone you may have lost this, but have you fought dragons before? Anything that you know for dealing with them? Or has anyone here? I kind of just ask the room.
Ooh, I mean, we fought this one before, but were ultimately defeated. Hence the deal. Though we do have like I said, showed before, we do have the claw that has one last charge at it that will be able to give him vulnerability. I think that's probably going to be a rather good way to go about it.
So, how long does that thing last again? That charm you've got.
Did you actually tell her the charm last? I don't remember.
Gordon will say typically only about a minute or so. So if we're gonna go that route, we gotta be prepared to jump on it as soon as it takes effect.
Sorry, I should have got a notepad to write it down.
During the initial ceremony, there was someone who put an effect over some of us. It only really took, I think, on maybe one. But other mages within your town also pose similar abilities.
Oh, the most
Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Unfortunately, there aren't many of us who are well practiced as I am. That's the tiefling again. He's speaking. He goes, Axiodor, the dragonborn down below here. She knows some nature magics, but besides myself and Wynx and Axiodor, no one else in town really dabbles in it.
Right. Because honestly, I feel like the magics are probably going to be the more brunt course. You can shoot arrows at anything. It's not a dire wolf in the forest, though.
How many archers do you have?
If we gathered up all the forces, maybe a dozen or so.
We have our archers, of course. You have myself and my party. Last, I don't think there's much else that we have. What you see before you is what we have.
Right. Do you have anything with distance? Or are you all close range? You have distance.
I have distance. I had a quick question for Dia really quick. Is this dragon native to this plane or no?
It is not, no.
Sorry, I've noticed that there's a lot of plane stuff going on here that I was a little unsure about.
Yes. Yeah, so this dragon is native to the plane of frost. Originally, most dragons would actually be native to whatever elemental plane they most strongly associate with.
Okay.
I like to imagine that this campaign has 4 or 5 different little jigsaw puzzles that have been spilled out onto a table. They're all mixed up. That kind of makes it make sense.
I will state, I do have this one spell that it can technically banish a creature back to its native plane, but it doesn't always work, is the little tickle there.
Well, that's a great thing. Make it work.
Well, I can't exactly force it to work, There's other things
we will
that
try
go
our
on.
best
Magic.
to help you make it work.
Is it permanently get rid of the creature?
If it is not native to this plane, it does permanently banish it there. As long as it works well there. If it is native, then it's only for a minute.
Well, there's multiple reasons why this would also not work. Which was going to be that longer conversation that I said I was going to have with you prior to this. So, Cliff Notes version. All of the planes are spilling together. So if there's maybe, theoretically, a portion of their plane on our plane, you banishing it back to their plane may only take it back to that portion that is on our plane. So
It's
it gets it further away.
That's a maybe.
It is a very strong maybe. If there's
I tell you what,
if there's a way to weaken it in which that it would make it work better, that would be ideal. Unfortunately, that is not within my own capabilities today.
Not in my capabilities to weaken it to the spell. We can leave it. If you don't think it's a super great idea, we'll save it as a last resort.
No. It is definitely in the things of last case scenario kind of situation we are in. Don't try it first out. But definitely maybe if we are running and fleeing, it's a good shot.
I mean, I did use how are all of you feeling right now?
Horrible.
I'm as well as I'm going to be given the situation. Look.
Oh, you meant health-wise.
Yeah, how are you feeling? You all were looking rather rough. My bad. Apologies for that. You got burns and then got frostbite over your burns. And, it doesn't sound super pleasant. I'm very sorry about that.
Frostbite really helped me. But
I think that we're fine. But okay, so we've got 12 archers, you said?
Yes.
12 archers, and I looked at the guy who has a spear. You said we have your spear, correct?
You do have that.
You're gonna have to get close to that thing, aren't you?
That is a part of my plan.
All right. And I'll be right next to you. I'm going to get close, help the archers get into position. If we can distract it, the archers can launch a volley at it, and we can possibly do that. Keep its attention away from larger groups of people.
Millie steps up and she goes, well, what about this thing's breath attack? It wiped out near half the town in one swoop before. We need to find some way to distract it or to get it to use it ahead of time so it doesn't just wipe us all out.
Is there a way that we can keep its mouth closed?
Polymorph potion. What does it change you into? You know?
Gordon just sort of shrugs and says, well, I suppose it could change you into any number of things, really.
Does it force something to change, or how does this thing work? I'm not terribly familiar with how magics work.
Well, as long as it's, someone who's accepting of the spell, then it'll change them into whichever creature I choose. If they're trying to resist it, there's a chance it won't work, but there's a chance that we could change the dragon into a different creature, but if you tried to kill it, it would just turn right back to a dragon.
If I may, I have a plan of sorts that would both, you make the best use of that potion and also keep the dragon's breath weapon at bay. Well, you know how when you sit down to eat a bowl of chili, you don't want to keep it open. It's going to spill out of your mouth, right? I have a lot of experience with, being food. If you hand me that potion, I'll be able to do a little thing or two.
You're not going inside of the dragon.
I want to go inside the dragon.
You'll die immediately.
I won't. I promise. I think I have this handled. I think I am the most suited for this mission.
You know, I have a suggestion. That one's very good, although it kind of seems like you're doing my job for you by feeding yourself to it.
No, it'll be fine.
Anyways,
I just look at the guy and go, "Can I have the potion? Just give me the potion."
So, quick point: it is a scroll.
Oh, it's a scroll.
Yeah.
That's
I
even
thought that one
worse.
was the
You know what?
potion.
Get out of my face. Get out of this tent. I don't want to see your face ever again. No, I'm joking. You stay there.
I do have a spell that can possibly give it a curse. That would make its mind a little muddled and kind of make it maybe not be able to attack as often. That might be a good one.
If you can do literally anything to slow this creature down, I think that'd be for the best.
I'll certainly try that. I mean, it's
Yes.
it would only
definitely.
be for about a minute. So
If you could slow this creature down, that would be ideal.
But as for the breath, I think that the best thing is that we should stick to its sides and its back, and fan out. Nobody get too close to each other. Everyone try to stay a little bit separated, close enough that if you needed to, you could run to someone.
Yes, the little hiccup I do have is I do have to touch it to do that, so I'd have to get quite close, which is no big deal. It's fine. I'm not going to expect you guys to toss me onto its back or anything. It's going to be fine. Everything's fine.
Oh, you want to be on its back? We can definitely make that happen.
I do have boots that make me fly, so I could.
Great, you can make that happen for yourself then.
I can.
Perfect.
They're not going to be alone up there. I'm going to be going up there with, and I looked at the guy with the spear. What is your name?
Ms. Orgroff.
Orgroff? Here's hoping it's an honor fighting by your side.
Aye.
But yet sneaking.
Millie peeks up again and says, well, if our plan is to utilize the dragon's claw, get as much damage in as possible, we're gonna need time to get everyone into position.
We can maybe make that happen. Lane runners, can you just maybe come forward slightly? I have a bad idea.
Oh, Rylin. Oh, you're learning.
I'm ready for the bad idea.
So really what this dragon wants, and yes, of course, defeating it is kind of the main objective. But what if we gave it its other quarry? If it were to make it out, we can use the guise of giving it another place to go as a chance for maybe the claw getting in position, if that is our first line of attack.
I'm sorry, how are we suggesting we... Just so that way I'm clear. Are we going to...
I am suggesting that we offer the capital as its new Horde headquarters.
I don't think that we should do that in case we fail.
Wait, sorry to interrupt. I think we're also forgetting something extremely important. What
is
about
that?
Johnny Ten Eyes? When we found the dragon, weren't we supposed to tell him?
Oh, that's supposed to be your job.
Oh, I'm sorry. Coral! Hey, Coral, this is going to be a quick message. I don't want to hear yap out of you. Tell Johnny we found the white dragon. It's in Oswego. Love ya, XOXO, Big G.
Do you think that it would have... Do you think it would have any interest to those black gem things? The
obsidian?
obelisks?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
obsidian.
obelisks.
I think that we could somehow trick it into being lured into trying to obtain something like that, like an obelisk or a piece of obsidian.
Wait. Oh, that's actually a lot better than, just like sending it upon a capital that doesn't really like us that much.
Making a
I
deal
guess-
with it about, I'll give you this
Right.
if you leave. But that's really just distracting it enough to get into position.
Also, we could potentially give it. It'd be a bit of a bummer, but we do have a lot of livestock. It is hungry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
this is
we
a
need your
Planesrunner
livestock.
huddle.
Remember? Sorry. Yeah, no, I
we're
guess
looking
Wynx,
over.
You
Just
can join.
Up 2 feet over the
Hold on, throw that out there. Don't worry, I can't hear you.
I'm just gonna.
I can't hear what you're saying. I'm just throwing out another idea. Sorry. Okay.
Celestina, let's do the little
Noted.
thing. Ready?
One at a time.
Noted.
I start messaging Celestina. Mind links.
I start mind linking to just relay messages. Tell me
This
what I'm
gives me a
relaying.
headache so much.
You get used to it.
Now we're just huddling in silence.
Yeah. And Big G's just in the middle pointing at everybody back and forth.
I'm just gonna lean over to Millie and be like, "These guys are rather odd."
I don't think that would work. At this point, it has killed half of this town in half a moment. I don't think that there's any reasoning with this creature. I think that the best thing that we have.
So, the only reason why I say if we lead it to the capital is because apparently the capital is a lot better suited to maybe fight off these things. It's very far away from where we're going. It'll take time to travel there, especially if maybe we do actually give them some of the livestock that Wynx is willing to tide it over. And then also tell them about the obelisk that is on the way, maybe to the capital, and just send word that it's coming.
I cannot proceed if we're going to be possibly putting more lives in danger, and sending a dragon towards the capital is something that I don't think that we're going to be able to do. And if it is the obelisks,
that's true.
We don't know if that's a good thing if it's near them.
I start to
Is
feel
there
bad.
a way
and I
that
start
we
pointing
can-
at Wynx. Also.
Is there a way that we could make a minor illusion of a being, of a creature?
Oh, I have plenty of illusion spells. Nobody's ever asked for them, but yes.
Could it speak?
Oh,
Could
yeah,
the
I mean-
illusion have the conversation? So just in case the deal goes south, no one's.
I pull out Rodney the rat, and he starts doing this little dance. It's like, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
It's not a bad idea, though, if we have illusions trying to speak to the creature while we're getting in position.
Then I think the
I do think
illusionary
that having a-
creature could make the deal. The obsidian
feel
deal.
like- That's true.
Then we would learn whether or not that white dragon has any connection to it. We might even garner information about these obelisks. While white dragon might say something to our illusionary creature that we didn't know.
How are we going to handle this, though? What type of creature? The dead dragon?
Quick question. Big G, did 10 Eyes get back to you?
Yeah,
Ding,
Big
ding,
G,
ding,
you
ding.
pull out the rock and it is glowing.
Oh god, I have 17 missed calls. Jeez. Give me 1 second. Hey, Johnny.
There's a pre-recorded message when you pick the stone.
voicemail. No.
It's Carl's voice as he goes, Johnny wants to know if the dragon is dead yet or not, and if you found its hoard. He doesn't really care that you found the dragon.
You know what, Coral? You're just the messenger. I'm not gonna shoot you. We haven't.
You're much nicer than Johnny 10 Eyes. He literally shot me when I gave him your message.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, you see, there's a little problem. We almost died. So, that's the main problem.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to give that message to Johnny. He would be very, very upset if he heard that. Yeah.
Wait, he cares about us. Oh, that's really sweet.
Well, no, he cares about the stuff that he. I'm sure.
Oh, you know what? I should give him a Christmas card when it comes around. No, we haven't found it. We haven't found the dragon's hoard. It's not dead. It almost killed us. There's some crazy cult going on in this town. Are they your people? Is this your people?
As far as I know, we don't have anyone in Osway, and you get about halfway through that message, before the windows on the tavern start rattling in the window panes.
Sorry, I'm losing
another-
connection. There's a thunderstorm. And I just put it away.
As another roar goes out through the town. A moment or two later, you can hear the sound of someone running down the street before one of the town guards bursts into the room and goes, Wynx, the dragon just ate Billy. He's demanding some kind of sacrifice. He wants to know what's going to happen, or he's going to destroy the whole town.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Just, for the love of all the gods. All right, we need to figure out what you want to do. You've all whispering to yourselves and just sitting there in silence pointing. Have a plan? If not... I mean, if not, I guess I'm going out.
Could we make a bit of a ceremony, like a show, a pomp and circumstance, something that is for the sacrifice?
Chest. Right. Wait, the chest that has all the things that we've already taken out of it because we need them for this site. That had the supplies in it.
Yes.
Can we make it look like a bunch of gems and gold and things that we are gifting to him for the horde?
You might want to illusion a dead body on there. He wants a sacrifice, darling.
Oh,
including
here we
the
go,
obsidian.
and I illusion Wynx's dead body.
Including the obsidian
right.
in that, so that if that's enticing, it might be interesting.
Oh, no, we can point out the fact that there are obelisks around that have great power, that he can siphon for himself as a great place to move the horde. And we can point him in the direction of the closest one, which is within the Fey Swamp, Underdark territory, that we just came through.
While we're doing that, we can all get into position to stab him in the heart.
We cannot let this creature leave this area.
Right. Yes.
Quick question for Wynx, just so I know I'm being a little petty towards you. I apologize, but
trying to sacrifice you, I understand.
Yeah. You said you could slow down the creature. What else can you do?
I'm rather handy with fire.
Good.
I mean, as you've noticed,
as we know,
a little fire. I can even do like a wall of fire. But
that could be handy.
Then, if I did that, I probably wouldn't be able to cast the banishment, as the wall of fire does take up a lot of power.
Yeah.
So we got to pick and choose in that sense.
So we have we got a wall of fire for contingency. We have banishment, which is what we're gonna try to start with, right?
I don't think so. I thought that was going to be a last resort. Of course, I can try and do the banishment right out the gates if you would like. But
I think our goal is to end with a dead dragon.
Our goal is to end with a dead dragon.
Yes.
We need to make sure, hit it hard, hit it fast. I think that's going to be our best bet. We can try to get rid of it if it gives us a moment to breathe, but we should focus entirely on bringing down this dragon.
Right. So, Big G.
Yes.
Let's try to make a ceremony now with pomp and circumstance to keep this dragon from eating more people.
I will let you know. It's not going to be anything big. I can't do anything. I'm almost tapped out. I'd rather save what I have.
Save your spells. I mean your energy, your charisma is what is needed.
Done and done. I start rifling through my pack.
And I look at Wynx and say, "Can you get the village to grab as many sticks that you can to try to build a pyre? Because it would take a while, and so that we can keep this dragon distracted. We'll give it the excuse we're building a pyre so that we can put the sacrifice on it for it to feast."
Okay, sakes. All right, yes. I don't.
And make sure that they take their time. It doesn't have to be quick.
I will do my best. I don't know if he likes his food cooked or not, but we'll give it a shot.
Right. But none of the combatants. That they should be definitely getting in position as soon as they can.
Of course, yes. I will round up all the able bodies that are willing to go out right now. Okay.
I will say, just for my own safety's sake, if there's anyone who could do the talking, so I might be able to control a few things in the air more at a distance, that would be lovely in the distraction.
That's what I was going to ask the dwarf with the scroll. Can you change me into a very large, very succulent cow?
Well,
something as large as you can do, as large. As
No, don't even worry about it. I think we should save that as also a contingency plan. Don't.
Yeah,
well, I need to be as close as I can possibly get when the trap is sprung. So right in front of it is.
I assume you'd be
ideal for
helping
me.
bring in the illusion then.
Yes.
I mean, I can make like a 3-foot cow out of illusions.
I mean, can anyone make my normal cows bigger? That might be a good idea.
I'm looking at polymorphing so that I can get as close to the dragon for when the trap is sprung. I'm right in front of it.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm just okay, and I pull out the scroll. I'm gonna be honest. I took it like 5 minutes ago. I wanted to save it for myself because we all know how squishy I am. Okay, I've died how many times? I thought it would just be nice to just not die for once. Okay, I'm tired of it.
Yes. Maybe we don't use polymorph as a negotiation tool. We use it as a safety tool. 100%. I mean, if you want someone to talk into its face, that's not itself.
I mean, I could still be the one to talk.
I think
if anyone should be talking to it, it's Wynx.
I agree, actually.
You know,
You have
yes.
the highest. You have the most rapport with this creature.
Yeah, I like to sass him though, which is not good. But I'll try and hold it in as best as I can.
Here's what I'm thinking then. Bear.
Just save all of that sass power that you have for whenever you try to banish it.
Rylin and Big G, you need to be far away from it, correct?
I mean, I would rather be further than closer.
Bear, we're going to be getting close to this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You and I, we carry the chest. Wynx, you start the negotiation. We get the signal. We attack that.
And negotiating.
Actually, I'll be honest. I can't be that far away from it because my spells don't go that far.
I mean, I would say like I would split the difference between like 30 feet from you, 60 feet from the dragon. That's more like where I'm gonna sit is a sweet spot. Do I have things further? But I'm not gonna lift Big G by himself, so.
Right.
Oh, I was gonna suggest we all split up just in case.
Oh, okay, that's fine too, I guess.
Yes, and as soon as we get close and as soon as we give the signal, which I assume will just be Big G just to make the chest. Can you make the chest do something with your magics? Just something bright, something visible?
Oh, I got you.
As soon as you do that, we scatter
yes.
to each side and we attack.
And as far as these items go, so that we can prepare as we're heading out of the door, who wants what? The suit of the frost cold resistance?
Yeah, there was studded leather, cold resistant armor.
Oh, it's leather. Oh shit, I got you. Big G, can you wear armor?
Oh yeah, so surprisingly recently I learned how to wear armor. Yes.
I feel like you're a little more.
Well, it depends. Is it a lighter version of armor?
Studded leather armor is a light armor.
Okay, then yes, I can definitely use it.
The leather boots.
I'll take the boots.
I'm just strapping crampons onto my feet.
Big G, that studded leather armor is regular studded leather armor, but it grants you cold resistance.
Oh, perfect. I have it in D&D Beyond.
The boots are the boots of the Winterland. They grant you cold resistance. You ignore difficult terrain based on ice and snow and can tolerate much colder temperatures.
That's pretty cool.
Is it in the Beyond?
It is.
And I will take one of the rings with the runes.
And then, yes, there are 2 more rings that both grant cold resistance. They're just rings of cold resistance.
Both.
Okay.
Take nothing.
Well, there's
no
2
magic
rings.
items.
Oh, right, never mind.
Celestina refuses to use magic items. So
And
we're
I hand
going
it to Wynx. I hand that last ring to Wynx. And say, if we're in this together, we're in this together.
I mean, are you certain? I'm just...
No one else will take it.
Okay. All right. I suppose. Oh, okay.
Are the archers in position? Or should they be in position by now? I turn to the person who I hopefully had asked to send the archers to position.
Orgroff nods and says, aye, they're in as good a position as they'll be.
All right. We walk in. As soon as you see the signal, everybody starts firing on the dragon. How long does it take to prepare? How long does it take for the charm to be active, though? When does it...
See, Gordon says, it should be active as soon as I use it. Give me a few seconds after you see the signal go off, and it should be good.
All right. Are you all ready to hunt the dragon?
Oh,
I'm
ready to die again.
Well, with any luck, it will go better than last time. Can't do worse than that, right?
At least we know what we're getting into this time.
I mean, it could go worse. We could all just straight up die this time and never come back.
Yeah, but we wouldn't know the difference, would we?
So, as for just the sake of time and everything, I will say that you have the time to attune to any new items you get on your short trek over there. The Dragonborn druid comes up from underneath the ground and says, a moment before you leave. It will expend most of my magics for the day, but I want to make sure that you are all in good shape before you go. And she comes over and places hands on all of you and heals you all to your maximum HP.
Brilliant.
Extended uses of cure wounds. And you all
evacuate the children as well while we're distracting.
This is a good idea. We will get the children far away from this place. And with that, your little party makes their way back towards the temple. You can see already the presence of this dragon has begun to frost over the temple building itself. You can see the large, heavy iron doors that at one point in time were barred shut are left open now. Giving you a view through and inside where you see a massive claw that dangles off of the far wall. As you enter down into the arena area, you look up and the dragon is seated across several sections of seating where the frozen townspeople once stood. It seems like it's used its breath weapon to create almost a throne of ice that it is nestled in. And you can see shadowy figures that lie deep in this ice of the townspeople still frozen somewhere inside of it. As your party steps in, the dragon says, about time. Now, where's my tribute?
You're muted, Red.
Yep. As soon as you said that, I was moving to go unmute myself. I noticed. Well, we been working on preparing everything for you. We want to make it, worth your time, of course. Now, after all, you have been awoken and everything, so we've been working on it. We very much appreciate your patience.
My patience grows thin.
Well, would you perhaps like to feast on some oxen in the meantime?
Present your tribute to the King of Ice.
Of course. I'm gonna look back and see if the tribute is quite ready yet.
I think we start walking it forward.
Mm-hmm.
And in Bear's mind, and then every now and then the Wynx as well. You just kind of hear, "Be ready. It's been an honor fighting with you. I hope to fight again." And I start walking forward with it.
It is right here, all ready and beautiful just for you. We spent a while getting it ready.
What is this pathetic, small offering?
Say, as they're talking, I try to sneakily start conjuring call lightning to make the storm clouds above him turn a little bit more into rain and lightning clouds. I'm just gonna hold on that actual until
Where?
Start opening.
I will speak up and look towards Big G while doing it. It is known across these lands that there are dragons seeking great power. We have a piece of one of the obelisks in the area in this very chest, should you so desire.
Present the shard. You can see his eyes momentarily when you said that got wide and then is narrowed again.
I'm gonna.
Great and powerful King of Ice, this lowly peon would only ask, why are these so important to you great creatures?
Their importance is beyond the understanding of mortals. If you have the shard, present it to me.
I look to Bayor as I get in position to open the chest.
I'm gonna quickly, subtly point to Bayor and be like, Bayor, just if you could put it near fire too, just if you have a torch or anything, it'd be great.
I don't have one lit.
Never mind.
I'll light one for you if you have one out.
Can we
Quick druid graph.
Yeah. I just nod to Celestina to open it.
I take a deep breath. I grab the top of this chest, and I open it up, not knowing what's going to be inside or what's about to happen.
And as Celestina opens the chest, Big G, do you want to describe what we see?
You see a lot of different things. It's a pile of gold, right? Huge pile, but right below the surface of this chest. And on top, you see a couple of different things. You see a large, obsidian shard that kind of sparkles a little bit, emanating an ominous sound to it. On the other side, you see a skull with 2 green gems embedded into its eyes. You see just what looks to be a couple of scales in there, and just miscellaneous gems scattered.
Dragon looks down for a second. Is there a DC to see past the illusion?
Yes, there is. It's an investigation check.
Okay.
Let me check minor illusion. It's against my spell save.
Yeah.
Which would be super high and impossible to pass.
Super,
right?
yeah, definitely.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's totally.
This is where I reveal I'm the god of the world, and nobody can beat my check.
I'm sorry. I was waiting for the DC.
Yeah.
He rolled an 8.
An 8. My DC is 15, so just barely, you know?
Just so close there.
Yeah.
You see the dragon look down, and it goes, a paltry offering. Where's the shard of obelisk of which you seek?
I put my hand down into the gold and I look at Big G.
Don't do that!
And I just, just like
using my
around.
malleable
It's in there.
illusions feat. I'm going to make it look like the coins move around his hand. I'm like quickly.
And I go, yes, it's quickly, it's nestled in there.
Big G, give me.
It is literally a class feature that I can do.
Is it?
It is.
Okay,
It is
cool,
an
cool.
illusion. It is malleable illusions, is what it's called.
I thought you were just like making something up.
No, that's the thing. You can like shift the illusion.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I'll
touched
I'll
it.
allow it.
I mean,
he quickly thinking on your feet, causing just enough motion to account for the arm. Bayor, you reach your hand in there, and even though you don't feel anything in this chest, it looks like gold is moving around.
Imagine
I
you're
just
playing
try to
Rock
set
Hunt.
the black obsidian
It's
image
real.
on top of the hill of coins.
Bayor, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time you're actually touching the shard.
It's not the actual shard. We don't.
Just an illusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gave the
correct.
shard. We gave the shard to Johnny Ten Eyes. We do not actually have it.
Yep.
Yeah, we gave it.
Well, you do still have a shard. You actually had 2 of them in your possession.
Yes, we did.
Oh, but we didn't know that. We don't know that.
Yeah. Also, yeah, we're not giving this dragon the shard, probably. If it wants it, we don't give it to him.
I wasn't. Yeah,
We're
I was
pretty
never.
sure we
I
gave it
was
away.
not going to put that in harm's way
Gotcha.
just yet.
You see the dragon looks down and looks over to all of you and goes, "This small gem may be worth enough to save this pathetic town. Bring it to me."
I just motioned to keep carrying the chest up to him. With
Yeah,
Celestina next to me.
I lift
Close
the
the
chest.
I'm gonna walk with
See how
them.
close we can get.
Yeah. We walk it over. I you know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna mentally telepath to you, Big G, and say, "What do you need for this to work?" You were hearing this in your mind.
Close the chest. I can only keep up the spell. I can only move it a certain amount of feet every couple seconds. Do not walk that fast.
I'm going to lean a little bit forward to cause the lid to fall without touching it. Just enough to get it to like just junk.
As soon as it closes, I just drop the illusion.
And then
This is
Celestina,
real. It's just the insides.
We need to.
Celestina, are you moving with me?
Yes, so I'm moving with you, and I am also again like relaying to Big G like we're waiting on your signal.
I'm gonna be walking with them as well.
Oh, and I'm gonna once again point. Is there any?
We don't have. You don't have to
plan
point to me.
Well, not to you, but to Bayor, I do.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, like scratch my little snout and point. Did we talked about making like some type of fire for like the
Glow bonfire.
offering, right? Right?
Yeah. We had
to add To add to this offering, the villagers have garnered together some sticks and things to build a pyre in which to place some of their oxen and other livestock, if you are willing to wait for that.
Present the gem. We will see how much my patience grows.
Okay. Well, if Celestina, if you're moving up with me, I will
I'm at
be
your pace.
right
That's
where you
fine.
see me in the map.
Oh, hold on. I'm on the wrong thing. Yeah, right next to you, bud.
All right, let's do it.
Damn. I had to,
Yeah, seeing them all walk up, I just like go to picture me like, and scatter.
And as you all approach the dragon, you see along the edges of the temple, the various archers start to all move into position, trying to keep enough of a distance so that they seem like they're just overlooking your group.
I'm gonna stay within 60 feet of the chest, by the way.
Gotcha.
I think we're done with the illusion. Once he opens that thing, I'm smacking him in the face.
Don't you worry. I got something. Don't you worry.
In your mind, you hear Big G. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Get ready for the signal, okay?
I start messaging to other people. You hear,
are
getting ready.
yeah, ready.
As the two of you now loom over this dragon that stands 20 feet above you in the air, it looks down and goes, "Open it."
Ready?
Hold on. We pop it open. What happens?
And then Rodney the Rats just pops out, just dancing. I go, I guess that's it. There was no fire. I'm sorry. That's the best I could do.
I drop my side and I am already sprinting towards this creature.
Draw out my great sword.
Or pick out, I'm gonna try.
Lightning comes down as soon as that happens.
Yeah.
So we had, I'm gonna count this pretty much as a held action for the first round of combat for the most part. Before we go into the initiative round here, so I'm gonna need the first thing you see as the rat bursts out is you see Gordon up here. He holds the dragon claw in one hand, and you can see his lips moving as he reads something. And then the dragon claw disintegrates into dust in his hand, and you hear him call out, "No! Archers, no!" The archers all unleash a volley of arrows towards the dragon as the arrows are mid-air. Rylin, what's the check for the call lightning?
It is a. I was calling that call lightning is a dexterity saving throw, please.
That is, that's not great. That is a 5.
Perfect. They take 3d10 lightning damage.
3d10 big boomies.
3d10. The beautiful lights in the sky. Ooh, and that is lovely. That is a 10, a 9, and a 6. So 25 points of lightning damage.
That is
vulnerable
doubled to 50 points of lightning damage as this crack of lightning strikes the dragon in the middle of its back between its wings. You see the wings extend outward just on a reflex. And let's see here. All right. Excellent. Two of the archers strike true with their arrows. You see two of the out of 12. They rolled miserably low.
I have a quick question.
That's really low.
The arena is an outdoor arena?
It
Like there is actual sky in this? Okay. And the clouds above us were already stormy?
They were, but it was as a result of your spell.
Okay, so I didn't it was not like I enhanced the storm that was already there. I created said storm clouds.
Yeah, so the storm actually cleared out once the dragon was summoned.
Gotcha, I just want to do all the damage I can.
I understand. Dealing an extra. So you see two arrows strike into the dragon's wings, tearing small holes in the leathery skin that stretches between them. You see Orgroff hucks his spear at the dragon, unfortunately bouncing off of the dragon's scales, but you see he has a chain that is attached to the end, and he gives it a yank, and the spear flies back to his hand. Bayor, Wynx, and Celestina, what are you all doing for this little surprise round here?
I was going to be touching it and casting Bestow Curse.
Okay.
Just go touch his leg. Just give it a little stroke. That's a good dragon.
Foot
What
massage.
is that? What check does the dragon need to make there?
That is a wisdom saving throw.
I won't go back. Okay, wisdom saving throw is a 4.
DC is 18, so it now has disadvantage on all of its... Oh, wait, is that just towards me? Oh, that would suck.
What did I miss?
So I was bestowing curse, and it says I misread. I thought it was for anybody. I think it's just towards me, though.
Well,
it would get disadvantage towards me.
Fortunately, anyways, the dragon's going to use one of its legendary resistances. That's one of them down.
You know what? It's good to use those up, though. Good to use those.
Especially if you're trying to banish it later.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Sorry about that, Wynx. Anything else you're doing here?
Nah.
Okay. Bayor.
I am smiting this dude. I am taking out that sword, and it is lighting up the wreath of flame.
Okay.
And I am going to try to hit this dragon. This is 16. I believe I have a +6. I might have changed. Yep, +6. So 22.
That will hit.
All right. 88 plus 2d6, baby. 6, 8, and an 8. 16, 22, 26, and 31, 32, 33, 34. 34 points.
Doubled to 68.
Yeah, I am going to climb on this icy crown and launch up and just aim right for its heart.
And Bayor, you land true. The strike piercing into the dragon's chest, the divine flame flinging, igniting from your blade and piercing into the dragon's flesh. You see, at this point, I'm sorry, Bayor, is that all you're doing here?
My bonus action, I'm going to do a Daunting Roar, DC 14, or become frightened. I'm going to try to frighten a dragon.
Is that,
Can I be frightened? That is the question.
Is a bonus action?
You ever seen a lion roar?
What is it? Is it a
To
wisdom
fright or
saving
not to
throw?
fright?
It's wisdom saving throw, yes. Sorry.
Bayor? That is a second legendary resistance that it is going to use.
Yes.
I like using those up.
Bayor, as you let out this roar, you see the dragon now whips its wings around and in a flurry begins to beat them against the ground. It's using a legendary action to do a wing attack. That means I need a dexterity save from Wynx, Celestina, and Bayor.
And because they are within 10 feet of me, that's a +3 to your saves for Celestina and Wynx.
I've got a question. Is the ground icy?
It is.
I specifically put on crampons before this fight for this reason. While wearing crampons, you cannot be knocked prone on ice.
Okay.
And for the dex save, 19.
That's gonna be a natural 1 from me, but it's gonna be a 6. These dice are betraying me tonight.
And Bayor?
Get a 13 +3 to the 16, and then +4 for the dex. So I've got a non-nat 20.
Okay, so that means...
We're gonna have the dex. That's 22 with the dex.
All right.
With the +3.
Celestina and Bayor, you both succeed. Wynx, unfortunately, does not. Wynx, take 11 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're knocked prone as the wind from this dragon knocks you off of your feet as you were kind of reaching up to reach it on the top of this wall. Celestina and Bayor, you're able to brace yourselves, but this dragon lifts itself 30 feet into the air above you. And calls out, "Foolish mortals! Insolent whelps!" Celestina, it is your turn in this little surprise round that we got going on.
All right. Am I able to kind of get up closer? Like, I know that it's 30 feet in the air, but am I able to climb in front of it, kind of like up onto the stands?
You are, yeah. So the wall. So actually, from the bottom of the pit, it would be 45 feet because it was already 30 feet on the stand, or 15 feet up on the stands. But yeah, if you want to, you can make the try to make that up there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it so that way I'm closer to being kind of like underneath it, moving to the left. But I'm gonna fire. I'm gonna try to fire as many shots with my bow into this thing's underside as I can, as I try to move into that position.
Go for it. So I'm gonna say, if you want to keep your action and make that, I'm gonna need an acrobatics check to get up that wall.
I rolled for the first hit. That was a 24. But let me go ahead and roll the acrobatics check.
Sure, that's fine.
26 for the acrobatics check.
Yeah, you're able to quickly scamper up the wall. It's a pretty loosely built stone wall, so for someone like you with your athleticism, you're able to just handhold and hoist yourself up onto the wall and continue firing. The first attack hit.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll for the second one real fast.
Okay.
That'll be another 24.
24, excellent.
On the
that'll
first,
also hit.
On the first hit, I'm gonna burn another one of the another key point, so that way I can add like the weird smite thing. And as my bonus action, I'm gonna fire one more arrow.
Sure.
That is going to be a 17. I'm gonna burn a key point, so it's 19.
That unfortunately, no, that will just hit. Yes.
All right, all three attacks are gonna go. I burned 2 key points, so that's gonna be 2d. It's gonna be 3d6 plus 1d6 plus 15 total damage. So for the boosted one, that's going to be 6, 11. For the second hit, that's going to be 9, so we're at 20. And then the third hit, 11, so 31. Double to 62.
Yeah, the dragon is not looking well, as all three of these arrows pierce deeper than they should into its flesh. You see, as it's taking up it dips down a little bit before picking up into the air again. The dragon at this point in time, you all have dealt nearly over 200 points of damage to this dragon in one round. So this dragon is on its way out. It is going to double dash
Nope.
moving 160 feet. You can see it as it beats its wings. There's a rush of air through the arena in this Colosseum as it's picking up speed, moving away from the mountains and out back towards the plains, presumably where it came from. At this point, is there anything any of you would like to do to try to pursue it, or any attacks that you want to make on the way out?
Are we in initiative or just whoever?
I'm just gonna say, kind of, since it ran away before there was really a chance to get initiative. Yeah, whoever wants to kind of get a last action can take that opportunity.
Was 160 feet away?
Currently, yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna run like 10 feet forward and I'm gonna cast Fireball on it.
Okay.
I like also go like sprinting and like I'm doing the same shit and just like casting another like lightning bolt as like the storm follows me.
Sure.
If I can get into a position where I can run and try to just fire more shots, that's all I'll do.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so that is one. So for the fireball, that is a 12 dexterity.
Okay, its DC was 18. Is it using its fancy shit?
It's going to use its last legendary resistance here.
Really?
The call lightning, it rolled a 5.
That's
so
fine.
It's going to fail that and has no more legendary resistances to use.
Great, perfect. That was a 9, a 4, and a... Why do I roll this die that I cannot frickin' read? Oh, another 9. So 18 plus 4 is 23. It's 22. Math. 22.
Just check out. It would still take half damage from my fireball, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What's that damage?
Which will be double because it's vulnerable.
Give me a sec. I'm gonna roll it. So whoever's going could still go.
So I have a question about. So it was 120 feet away, or 100 and what was it?
160.
Okay.
And then we all sprinted forward.
Yeah.
Then everyone ran 10 feet.
Yeah, I have nothing at that range.
Oh, the longbow is 150 feet. I thought it was 120.
I'm gonna hold you up for a second, Celestina.
Now, hold
That's
on.
perfectly fine.
Just
I'm 100.
as a question here, because it left my threat range and I was not knocked down, am I getting any attack of opportunity since I did not use a reaction?
Yeah, that you're taking an attack of opportunity.
Because that might change things because my attack, it would just be an attack of opportunity.
I'll say
I couldn't do. Yeah.
Let's wait to see what this damage is here.
Yeah.
So
fine.
The fireball damage was 31, not halved or anything. I'm assuming if he was vulnerable, would it just kind of cancel out?
Yeah, just sort of cancel out there. So as this dragon starts to take away, you see it inclining a little bit. Rylin and Wynx both turn around and sort of side by side, you see Wynx hold out her hand and the familiar red beam shoots forward, catching up with the dragon and detonating just below it. You can see the dragon veers off to the left as Rylin raises her hand right next to Wynx, and a lightning bolt shoots down from the sky, illuminating this dragon in a silhouette for a moment as it strikes. You can see that strike, the dragon begins to list downwards and begins to go into a short spiral before you see it crash into the dirt. There's a couple large trees that get blown out of the way that you see fly away from this hillside wherever it impacted, but the dragon has been defeated.
Look at Wynx, I'm not really a fan of like high fiver.
I'm still gonna fire my arrows into this thing just to make sure. Like I am still gonna chunk it just to make sure.
That's a good call.
Big G, were you tapped out of spells there, Big G?
No, I literally just couldn't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could have been swallowed.
Yeah.
Nice.
But on that victory, probably our good chance to end the session for tonight on that win. So thank you once again so much for joining us, D&D Heart. It's been great to have you for these episodes.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast. I've had a lot of fun. So thank you guys for having me.
So to go around and let our lovely cast introduce themselves, in case you've forgotten who they are, in case this is your first time joining us, and you want to see more of these beautiful people's beautiful faces around the internet. Let's start D&D Heart. Where can people find you out and about?
I am mostly on TikTok. I have a YouTube as well where I'll be teaching D&D, but I'm still working on that one. On TikTok, I do D&D skits, and I reenact people's D&D stories and things like that. So, and it's just D&D Heart everywhere. So,
excellent. It's easy to find that way.
yeah.
Bayor, playing Bayor, Steve Harvey.
Hey, yeah. You can find me at Harvey Got TikTok. I think there's some underscores separating the words. And at Vishala at DeviantArt if you want to go see some in-game artwork that I usually do. Those are the two places that I normally hang out, other than my house. So, yeah.
Definitely recommend going in to check out Steve's art. It's fantastic. Moving on to the biggest of G's.
Hi, I'm Jared. You can follow me on TikTok at Janders42. That's Janders with an S.
Then next to Big G on your screen here is Celestina Paint.
Howdy, hey. My name is Arizona. I play Celestina Paint, as you're familiar. If you're trying to find me, probably the only platform that I'm even like remotely active on is going to be TikTok, at illegally_brown. The only real goal I've got right now there is I want to hit 1,000 followers so I could do dumpling streams where I just stream doing that, but I keep losing followers.
I can't wait.
I've dropped down to 937. I was at like 946 the other day. Well, it's fine. I kind of like not having a lot of followers, but at the same time, I just want to make dumplings with people. So, like, come on over.
Dang.
And last but certainly not least, our fearless captain, Rylin.
Hi, I'm Erica Harding. You can find me in mostly I just use Twitter and Instagram, and it's Erica Jean 315 or Erica Jean 15. Any variation of those last three numbers is kind of where you can find me. Or, I'm usually the one behind the 5% chance social medias. So you find me both those places.
Erica, if someone wanted to check out more of 5% chance, when else do they have the opportunity to watch streams on here?
We have so many streams, especially this week. We have a jam-packed week. Of course, you guys just finished up with Diceburgh, but tomorrow at 7:30, the Ash and Shade Committee will be continuing their long campaign. And then on Saturday, the Dark Dominion is back at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I really have no idea how they're going to get out of the situation that they're currently in. But it's going to be fun. And I mean, Brill and the rest of the Dark Dominion's cast is absolutely fantastic. To which I will also thank them for their charity stream that they just did on the 4th of July, where we raised $1,147 to the National Network of Abortion Funds. It was a great time. It was our first charity stream, and there's probably going to be a little bit more of those coming in the future. So that's my programming announcement going forward.
Yeah, and I have been Kurt Stridinger, your Dungeon Master for the evening. Thank you all for tuning in, spending some of your Tuesday night with us. We're going to be back in 2 weeks' time on, that is Tuesday the 26th. I haven't heard otherwise, so I believe our fearless Arguvar will be rejoining us at that time, where we will pick up and see how the party deals with this looming threat that has been defeated. So thank you for joining us. Until next time, have a good evening. I need to come up with a better stinger at the end there. Really
good night, everybody.
Nice, good night, everybody.